CBS 21 News begins with breaking news.
And today I called Mehmet Oz to congratulate him on his victory.
Breaking news in the GOP primary race for the U.S. Senate spot. Dave McCormick will not wait for the results of the recount. Instead, he is conceding. Thanks for joining us on this Friday night. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Joel D. Smith, and tonight's announcement is surprising to many as the $1 million recount paid by the taxpayers was already underway. So the race ends with the former hedge fund CEO behind celebrity Dr. Mehmet Oz by fewer than 1,000 votes. The close result triggering the state's automatic recount law. And despite the slim margin, McCormick says now he is ready to back Dr. Oz for U.S. Senate.
I will do my part to try to unite Republicans and Pennsylvanians behind his candidacy, behind his nomination for the Senate. So he has my full support, and I wish him and Lisa well in the next phase of the campaign.
Oz glad to hear it, releasing this statement, saying in part, "I'm tremendously grateful for his pledge of support in the fall election," adding, "Now that our primary is over, we will make sure that the U.S. Senate does not fall into the hands of the radical left led by John Fetterman." Also saying, "I look forward to campaigning in every corner of the Commonwealth for the next 5 months to earn the support of every Pennsylvanian." So as Dr. Oz now turns his focus to his Democratic challenger, you heard him say that, John Fetterman. Tonight we're learning more about the lieutenant governor's health scare. Fetterman says he almost died because he did not listen to doctors 5 years ago. His cardiologist says Fetterman has cardiomyopathy. That is a disease of the heart muscle, making it harder for the heart to pump enough blood to the rest of the body. On Election Day, he had surgery to implant a pacemaker with a defibrillator. Fetterman's doctor says he will be fine if he lives a healthy lifestyle and takes medication. Fetterman saying everything was completely preventable and he did not follow up with the right medical recommendations following that 2017 doctor visit. No word on when he will continue campaigning again.
All right, let's talk weather now, where we're embarking on just a beautiful first weekend in June. It doesn't get any better than this, and you really feel it at night. These cool nights, warm days. Check this out. We're dipping through the 60s on our way to some 50s tonight. We're already there in State College at 59, 52 in Bradford, so that is some cooler, drier air. Nothing to show you here on the satellite and radar, mostly clear sky. Let's get to it. Let's bring on this weekend. Overnight lows are going to touch into the mid and upper 50s. Enjoy that. Maybe turn off the AC, open up the windows. Tomorrow, sunshine and 78, and we hit repeat, do it again on Sunday. Lots of sunshine, highs in the upper 70s, right around 80. This is perfect weather, and I think we keep going into next week, at least a little bit. I'll show you that with the 7-day in just a few minutes. Joel D, back to you.
We'll take you live to our nation's capital. Well, right now, the White House, see a little bit of an orange hue there. That is lit different color tonight in honor of National Gun Violence Awareness Day. This all comes as a group of bipartisan lawmakers say they're making some progress on new gun control legislation. Those measures could include red flag laws, expanding background checks, and other things. As Natalie Brand reports, the lawmakers falling short, though, of what President Biden wants.
The White House lit up in orange Friday night to mark National Gun Violence Awareness Day. From coast to coast, demonstrators demanded change in the wake of a series of mass shootings that have shaken the nation.
Stop the gun violence that is going on in our country alone.
Students again walked out of class in several cities, including New York, Long Beach, California, and Rockville, Maryland.
We have so much, power in our hearts and so much passion, but it almost feels like we're screaming at nothing because the people who run this country don't seem to care about us.
I'll do what I can to try to see through we have some real progress.
The president has made his plea to Congress, listing a number of proposals in his address to the nation Thursday night, including a ban on assault weapons, like the one he helped to pass as a senator in 1994.
Right now, there aren't the votes in the Senate to ban assault weapons, but there may be the votes in the Senate to be able to expand our background check system, to help states pass red flag laws, for additional mental health funding.
Christian Heine of the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence lost his mother in a shooting that also injured his father. He says he's optimistic about the negotiations now underway.
The American people are angry about this. They are fed up. And they are calling on our senators to come together.
The House could vote as early as next week on a more extensive gun control package that includes a measure to raise the age to buy a semi-automatic rifle from 18 to 21, as well as banning high-capacity magazines. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
So gun violence, gun control, of course, two of the big topics this week on Face the State. I spoke with State Senator Sharif Street from Philadelphia. Here's some of what he had to say about this issue, including some current legislation like cracking down on straw gun purchases. That's when one person buys a gun for another.
Know that this person is clearly a straw purchaser, but figuring out a way to charge them with something is hard because they can say they were lost and stolen until the cows come home, and non-reporting is not in and of itself a crime. It raises some suspicion. So there are a bunch of folks who law enforcement could go after now because they either have to stop doing it or they could prosecute.
Yeah, to be clear, it means buying a gun for someone who's not supposed to have one to begin with. All right, we'll talk more about that. And also we have a special interview with Congressman Lloyd Smucker, who just returned from the southern border. Interesting stuff. Sunday morning, 8:30 on Face the State. Harrisburg also seeing a spike in violence, and in response, dozens rallying for lawmakers to act. Here's CBS 21's Nick Volaturo hitting the streets, finding out what they really want to see.
Joel D., these people wish they had a time machine so they can go back to when the assault weapons ban was in place. But the people we talk to say they're sick and tired of the thoughts and prayers, and they're fed up seeing innocent children slaughtered, and they're calling on lawmakers to pass legislation that protects the most vulnerable. A strong showing of solidarity at the Capitol.
One day we're not going to be here to lead the charge, and we have to let the youth know how to move forward in a positive light.
Dozens marching, taking aim at the surge of gun violence.
It's disappointing. I feel like sad for the families that have to go through that stuff.
The rally coming in the wake of mass shootings in Buffalo, Uvalde, and Tulsa.
I can't imagine the feeling that those parents have. Number one, getting that call, being there live.
Just last night in Harrisburg, 2 people were shot, one a juvenile.
I have 3 very young sons, especially when I see a shooting in school, anywhere, truly, because we go to the grocery store, right?
10 homicides in the city already, on pace for one of the deadliest years on record.
It should stop. We should not be killing people. We should come together. We should be a family.
Many here sick to their stomachs watching innocent people being massacred.
It's getting to the point where it's making my stomach turn, all of our stomachs turn.
And their sights set on lawmakers to pass what they label common sense legislation.
There's no reason why military-style weapons need to be on the streets in the hands of everyday residents.
Addressing universal background checks, red flag laws, and the banning of assault weapons.
I get it. From the other hand, you do need to protect yourself, but you need to be able to do it responsibly.
Which they hope not only triggers change, but saves lives.
Opening ears, opening hearts, and understanding that we need to have these tough discussions.
To really make the changes that are necessary so that things like this don't happen.
While Democrats aim to pass gun reform, Republicans argue mental health and strengthening school safety really needs to be the focus of any new legislation. Reporting in Harrisburg, Nick Volaturo, CBS 21 News.
Thanks a lot, Nick. So still ahead, the biggest night in local horse racing does not disappoint. Wow, what a race, and what a surprise. The exciting finish to the $400,000 10 Mile is coming up. But first, have you noticed the mail? It takes a little longer to get to you. Are you getting it at all? We met some folks who said they haven't received anything for weeks. Our Jessica Babb has found out the reason why, and she's delivering the answers next.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Say hello to my 2 friends, Liberty and Fair Play.
Weeknights on CBS.